Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the RMTV Women's Podcast. This is episode 153, we think. I'm almost certain it is. I'm
Yeah.
sure someone will tell me. Well, we'll know once we edit and stuff, but I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments if it's wrong. But yeah, episode 153. Flying through these now. I feel like once we hit like a milestone, so it was like 100, then it was 150, and it just seems to go so quick in between them all.
It's ridiculous.
And like
Crazy.
the weeks just go by so quickly, but we're back. A couple of topics of discussion for today. Firstly, we'll go and talk about Liverpool. Obviously, we played Blackburn at the weekend at home. We said in last week's pod that Durham and Blackburn are the two teams that we always hate playing, and the thing with Blackburn is it always ends up in a draw. It feels like,
Yeah.
and this one did. It was a 0-0 draw at Prenton Park. I think that's the last 3 games now that we've faced Blackburn that have turned out to be a draw. So we don't have the best record against them. But I went to the game. You were away for the weekend, enjoying a nice little weekend in Anglesey. All right for some, do you know what I mean?
Staycation.
Yeah, a little staycation. But yeah, I was at Prenton. It was a bit of a weird game. I felt like it was kind of like it was what I expected against Blackburn. It was the type of game I expected. They always come with a game plan against us, and it's always to just sort of try and hit us on the break, and like basically they just
Sit and defend.
Yeah, they just want to defend, and they did it really, really well. They stuck to the game plan really well. There wasn't a load of chances for either side, but then also it was kind of one of those games where no one really had a lot of possession, especially in the first half. I think second half we dominated a lot more, but first half it was kind of a bit of back and forth at times. But there's one moment for me, and that's obviously the Leanne Kiernan moment. For me, the ball crossed the line. Looking at it in the game, the ball crossed the line. Everyone behind the goal was cheering. We all thought it crossed the line. Obviously, we're not blessed with goal line technology or VAR in the women's game, especially in the championship. So it makes it difficult. But speaking to Matt Beard after the match, he said, "I've watched it twice, and the ball crossed the line twice." So he's
Brilliant.
like, "I don't know what." He was like, "I don't know what more we could do." And ultimately, especially going into the Christmas period, that could like be huge ahead of the title race. That's like 3 points drop for us basically there, really, isn't it?
It is. It's tough, and it always feels worse when it happens and it's due to something that's out of your control, like a referee decision or something like that. I mean, if Matt Beard thinks it's crossed the line, I'm going to go with Matt Beard on this one. But it's such a shame because you're right. Like, I think this championship season is going to be such a tight season in itself. Every single point matters. And it is maybe more we've missed out on all of the points realistically, especially when we could have picked up all 3 of them up out of something that wasn't anything to do with us really. But ultimately, could we have excelled further? Do you know what I mean? Like, could we have gone on and scored even more goals? Like, could we had already been 1-0 up by that point? Do you know what I mean? So it's a tough one, but Blackburn always seem to be able to do one over on us, and I don't really know why. Like, their team has changed a lot over the seasons. You would have thought like the tactics would whatever, but they know their plan against us, and they've properly stuck to it the last few games.
Yeah, and their reaction at the end as well. They were cheering like they won the game.
Yeah.
And like that's something that like I've noticed a lot about teams this season. Like they look at obviously Liverpool being a big name in the championship and think we just want to get one over on them, or we want to do our best just to like make it a really tough game for them. And on one hand, I'm kind of like glad that we have that sort of effect on teams, but then on the other hand, I'm like, no, like just let us win the game. We need to win this game. And especially with Durham on Sunday, like, we'd have gone above Durham in the table because obviously they got beat by Crystal Palace. which would have been like perfect time for us to win, especially with the run of form that we were on. To then having to go into Durham at the weekend now, with it being like 1 point difference between the two sides, I'm like even more nervous for that game now, because I'm just like, it's anyone's game at this point, really.
Oh, 100%. That Durham game's a scary game. It always has been, like, for the last few seasons. I think they'll have taken a bit of a dent by losing to Crystal Palace. So they're probably going to be firing on all cylinders coming at us as well. But equally, we've taken a bit of a dent by not getting the 3 points against Blackburn. So hopefully it'll just come down to the fact that whatever team wants it more. And I think, like, we've been absolutely done over by Durham so many times. I think it's our turn to sort of absolutely push them over to the side and get 3 points.
Well, fingers crossed. Hopefully, we'll talk more about Durham. We'll talk more about Durham at the end of the podcast. We'll do like a slight build up, but we'll move on to a story that was broke yesterday. I think it was. Today's Wednesday as we're filming. But it's that the FA wants crowds in the Women's Super League to be 3 times bigger by 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, which is I like that. I like that plan. That seems good to me. Oh, you're right there.
Whack the table.
So you just go, ow, and I was like, oh. Yeah. So yeah, do you want to make the attendance 3 times bigger? Obviously, attendances have dropped down a little bit since the COVID-19 pandemic has sort of come around. The average attendance across the league has dropped from around 3,000 in 2020 to 2021 season to 2,282 this season so far. So still decent crowds, still decent numbers, but obviously a significant drop in numbers this season so far.
Yeah.
Do you think that's simply to do with because more games are streamed and broadcast live now? People think, oh, well, I'm not really feeling up to going on Sunday, but it's on the telly, so we'll still watch it on the telly, because broadcast views have gone up massively, but attendances have dipped. So do you think that sort of, even though it's an amazing thing that this broadcast deal is in, do you think that sort of affected the attendances in the women's game at the minute?
It probably has a little bit. I mean, how much easier is it to sometimes go, oh, I'll watch it on the telly, do you know what I mean? If it's windy outside, or, you know, I think probably COVID in itself has quite a lot to do with it. I think once you break out of the routine of not going every single week, it's quite hard to get back into it.
Yeah.
But it could be, I mean, it's just so easily accessible now. It maybe people see it as just such an easier option to watch it on the TV, which is great because you're probably getting more TV views than you ever did before.
Yeah.
It's just how you get people to go to the game. Like, I think it would be nice to at some point to have or be in a situation like the men's where you're selling out stadiums, or at least selling out sections. Do you know what I mean? So it would be nice to get to that at some point. But I think the targets that they've set are realistic. I mean, we're averaging from Liverpool sense about 1,000, which I know is what the championship threshold they're aiming to do by 2024. But Liverpool are already hitting that now, which is great. But I mean, six. How much is it? 6,000 for the.
You want to get to like 6,000 by 2024, yeah.
For the WSL, which I think is achievable. That's what, 3 or 4 years time. I definitely think it's up there. I mean, the Euros will help a lot with that next year, I think, by bringing in a new sense of audience and just highlighting the game even further. But it's nice to see that there's the targets being set, so the teams and the clubs and everyone has something to like work towards, and you can actually measure the growth that way.
Yeah, it's always important to have a goal to aim for, isn't it? I think, yeah, like you said, 6,000 is definitely achievable, and it says here that would be a sellout for most clubs as well, with the stadiums that they play in. So I think it's definitely possible. It's just about sort of sticking to that goal now, and I think it's really important, not just for like the FA to market it well, but for the clubs to do it well. Like I think Liverpool this season I know this is for WSL clubs, but you know, we're aiming to be back and staying in the WSL by that season. So I think especially this season, Liverpool have done so well to market their games, and obviously this weekend there's a free bus to Durham, which they've put on so people can get there. And I think just things like that, like, just help so much in trying to just get people involved and just grow it, because if the clubs don't put 100% effort in, then it's sort of like, well, what's the point in
Who
it
is?
doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it can't
Yeah.
always all be down to the FA. And obviously, yeah, I think it's a really good target to aim for. I think it's definitely possible. And yeah, like you said, like the Euros obviously coming up will play a huge part. And uh, the ballot for that, or the whatever it is that you have to sign up, didn't you, for like to sort of put your name in a hat for the games. I think that gets released soon, that you find out whether you've done it.
I did it the other day. I have about £650 worth of tickets in my basket. Apparently, not going to have them all. Definitely not going to have them all.
Yeah.
I don't think I can afford that.
If anyone needs a ticket, go to Amy at this rate. I know. I think we only did for there's one at Old Trafford and one at and then like two at City's ground, or the other way around, just one or the other. I just picked the ones that were closest to me for now, because I thought I'd try and near the times for the other ones as well. But yeah, that'll be exciting. I'm hoping that's going to be. I think that'll sort of give you like a good sort of average as well, because obviously they'll be in bigger stadiums, like the ones at Old Trafford. If they get like almost sellout crowds, then sort of gives you like a good number of what you can aim for in the future as well. So yeah, it's definitely possible. Like I think it's a good target to aim for. But then the FA have also said that they want to increase the number of female coaches within the WSL too. So the FA want a 50% ratio of male and female coaches within the WSL. Out of the current 12 clubs, 7 are managed by men, while half of the women's championship clubs employ female head coaches.
Okay.
Now, this one for me, it's a bit weird because I like it. Obviously, get more female coaches in the game, get more names recognised. But then also on the other hand, it's like, well, if you're a good manager, you're a good manager, and you want the best manager for your team. So it's kind of like, I don't know, like it that makes it sound like I'm not bothered about female coaches. I absolutely am. Like I love it. But then also like you look at like we've got Matt Beard this season, and he's an amazing coach, and he's probably the right person for the right job for the job at the minute. So it's kind of like, I don't know, but you don't want to just be ticking boxes, do you? Just for the sake of having more female coaches managing teams, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's the person for the job, isn't it? But I guess the question to that would be, how do we get more female players to be the right people for those female coaches? Sorry, to be the right people for those jobs. Do we give them more access to like coaching programs? Do you get them? Try to teach them coaching at a younger age? Do you encourage more of them to get involved at a younger age? You know what I mean? So it's how you then progress that further. But I agree with you, it's the right person for the job. But it's quite sad to see that there aren't as many female coaches at the higher level compared to men. I mean, obviously Emma Hayes is a massive one. Jill Ellis also. Don't get me wrong, there are loads, and there are some really successful female coaches, but I think there could be a lot more that you don't see any in the men's, for example. I think at some point you see them migrate over to there, which would be great as well.
Yeah, that's been rumored. It's always just Emma Hayes. That's like the rumor for like a men's job, isn't it? The FA do have a mentoring program for elite female coaches at the minute. There is one that's there. But it's just about finding like the right person and the right fit for each club, I think. But yeah, it is sort of like also bridging that gap and saying, well, these people are here and are able to do the job, so why not, basically, isn't it? So I don't know. It could be us. You never know. Could
have been us. Still could be us. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. Liverpool 30-30. No, not 30-30, 20-30. 30-30.
30-30. I don't think we'll be here, hon.
I think I'll be dead, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God. Imagine.
Lauren for managing 30-30. Let's get the campaign going, eh?
Let's start a hashtag.
GoFundMe page. I'll set it up. God. You can tell there's been a full day at work here, can't you? My brain's frazzled.
Yeah. Every day.
Every day. It's Wednesday. It's that day in the week where it's just like, oh, I want it to be over now.
Oh yeah, I'm fed up. I've run out of motivation for the week. The Monday motivation hasn't hit the whole week.
No, it didn't hit Monday morning. It certainly hasn't hit today.
It certainly didn't hit yesterday either. I'm still waiting for it, to be honest.
It's only when it gets to like about 3 o'clock on a Friday when I'm like, okay, I'm happy now. Let's
Literally, go. I am the same.
Yeah, but we'll move on to Durham this weekend. We've obviously spoke about it a little bit there, but it's just a massive game, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I think it's probably the most important game of the season so far. But I think everyone would agree with me there. Obviously, battle of first v second. Only a point between us, so I think it'll be like a really feisty game. You know, I'm expecting.
Oh yeah, it always is.
I'm expecting a few challenges, a few words exchanged between managers. I think it'll be a really fun game to watch as well.
Oh yeah, it always is when we come up against Durham. To be fair.
Yeah, there's always a good battle.
It is, and like both teams really obviously want to win. First and second, it's a big game. I'm so gutted we can't go.
I know. It's really the worst timing ever for like, because I was planning on going, and then I was like, yeah, I'll jump on the free bus. I'll do a little vlog. Like it'll be great because there's like a few other people from like down for rap and stuff going. And I was just like, and then as soon as I came home, I was like, no, you can't go. We've got plans. And I was like, sorry, what? Why?
No, life isn't fair.
Yeah, and then Amy's like, oh, I'm in work. And I was like, it's always, I feel like it's always the way when there's like a big fixture, one of us can't go, or either of us can't go, or we just something's in the way. But we'll still be doing like match updates and stuff like that. So the usual stuff will be happening. We just can't physically be there, which is a shame. But in terms of team news, then obviously we went unchanged at the weekend from the previous league fixture, which I think was a really good team. Obviously, Leanne Kiernan's on absolute fire at the minute. She should have set history on Sunday because that goal should have been a goal. I think she would have been the first player to score in like 5 consecutive games for Liverpool women since someone else.
So that's really sad.
It would have been like history making goal, but it wasn't meant to be.
I bet there was a graphic made for that and everything.
Yeah, they would have had something sorted for that, the tweet and everything. They would have had it down. But if she bags a couple against them this weekend, it's sad.
Everyone forgets about that then.
Forget about it. But yeah, I think obviously the forward line of Daniels, Kiernan, and Lawley has been doing well in recent games. The back 5, back 3 sort of model seems to be working well too. Obviously, we've kept a lot of clean sheets. Another one at the weekend, which is probably a positive that you can take for that. But is there anyone in particular that you'd like to see featured, or are you happy to stick with what we've got at the minute?
I think I'm quite happy to stick with what's been working. I think I'm not too sure on any players that return from injury. So it's tough to say really on that side, but I think the team's been working well as a unit. I think like the likes of Bow and Kerry both have to start in that midfield to help hold it down and stuff.
Yeah.
I think the question is defence. I mean, I think Matthews and Robe have been doing a really good job together as like the centre back pairing, and then the 2 wing backs as well. I think Raza will obviously probably be in for Wardlaw because I don't believe she'll be there back fit yet enough to start anyways. And like Leanne Kiernan speaks for herself. I mean, there's a shout for Fernie. I think she's experienced in these kind of circumstances and games where they're quite high pressure situations. Like first v second doesn't come around every week, does it? So it's really tough. We have such a good squad, like a really tight squad and capable squad. You don't want to move it around too much in case it loses its sort of rhythm and its flow. But yeah, it just depends on who's fit. I mean, but equally, I'm more than happy to stick as we are and sort of go again.
Yeah, I think in terms of like Rihanna Dean, I think he said there's no timeline at the minute, and he said the same for Charlotte Wardlaw after the game on Sunday. But she put on Instagram today that she had her boots back on, so she must have been doing something out on the grass. I don't. I think him saying there's no timeline is just kind of like a no pressure type thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping it's not as bad as first feared, whatever injury she picked up. But yeah, I think I'd agree. I'd stick with it. I think I think I think if you had a midfield three of Farhi, Bow, and Kerry, like it's just
You'd be
pure
laughing.
energy, pure energy in that midfield, and that's what you need especially when you come up against a side like Durham. I think Fernie will have to be super sub for this weekend.
Yeah.
I want to see Fairness start in the next couple of games because I think she deserves to. Obviously, I think they're just managing her minutes right now, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's Rachel Fairness. You know what I mean? She can make a huge difference to a match. So
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm happy for her to be super sub though. If she comes on and scores a header at the back post, then fine by me.
You're laughing.
All day, yeah. But yeah, like we said earlier on, there is a free bus to Durham on Sunday. So if we remember, which we always say, we'll leave a link in the description.
We always forget.
We always forget. But if not, it's on our socials as well. It's on Liverpool socials. So there might be some spaces left. Who knows? Go over, check out, see if you can get a free trip to Durham there. Obviously, you have to pay for your ticket, but free bus, free travel. Although it does depart at 7 a.m. So no big night outs for anyone on Saturday night if you're going to Durham.
Or just don't go home, carry the night out.
Go straight from town to Anfield to get the bus.
Yes.
That seems like a great plan to me.
It sounds unbelievable.
That's probably what I would have ended up doing.
Oh yes.
But go and check it out. And that's this week's podcast. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you all after Durham on Sunday. Bye.
Bye.